the African sun shows no mercy. Day after day, it strips the land of life, burning away at every trace of green. The rivers vanish, the soil cracks, and thirst becomes the deadliest enemy of all. In this unforgiving season, survival is a brutal contest. Predators stalk with desperate hunger, while prey take impossible risks for a single sip. Every step toward water could mean salvation or sudden death. This is the final lifeline of the dry season, where over 90% of all life converges. The most intense showdown of them all. Savannah's last drop. In the heart of this parched land, every waterhole, whether carved by nature or forged by human hands, becomes the last refuge for life itself. Before we continue, tell us in the comments below, where in the world are you watching from? Now, let the search begin. Savannah's last drop, battles at the Waterhole. During the dry season, the savanna shrinks around its last precious waterholes. Daytime temperatures soar beyond 35 degrees. The heat presses down like a weight. A giraffe lowers its towering neck, nearly 2 meters long, to drink. Every movement is slow, but never careless. Danger lurks beneath the surface. The Nile crocodile waits, motionless for hours, ready to strike at the smallest mistake. Nearby, a hippopotamus bares its massive jaws. With a crushing bite force of over 17,000 newtons, it defends its territory with brutal authority. Above, the African fish eagle circles high. The instant a shadow betrays a fish below, it dives. On land, the spotted hyena lingers, patient and calculating, ready to close in on any weary wanderer. Every creature here comes with a plan of its own, because in the savanna, these waterholes are more than just pools of water. They are the razor's edge between survival and loss. They set the rhythm of life itself. Now, imagine you're driving across the vast, endless grasslands. The sun scorches the earth. Every blade of grass trembles on the edge of death. Then suddenly, a waterhole appears, a beacon of hope in a barren world. Here, a dazzling gathering unfolds. Elephants, zebras, giraffes, impalas, even elusive night wanderers like the black rhinoceros. Together, they create a vivid dance of life against the harshest odds. Waterholes can form naturally or be created by human hands. Some appear in low-lying depressions, others along dry riverbeds where rare rains or underground springs leave their mark. Sometimes it is the elephants themselves who shape them, digging into the earth with sheer strength, carving out mineral-rich pits that grow over years into lifelines for countless species. Across Africa, national parks and wildlife reserves have built artificial waterholes, ensuring animals don't have to risk deadly journeys during the brutal dry season. At Kruger National Park in South Africa, by the 1980s, hundreds of borehole-fed sites and reservoirs were created. The goal, to protect rare antelope and to guide the movements of great herds of buffalo and giraffe. Meanwhile, in Namibia's Etosha National Park, a vast land of salt pans and dust, the balance is carefully maintained. In the east, nearly 30 natural waterholes quench life. In the drier west, just 5 remain, supplemented by more than 27 man-made pools. Some of Etosha's waterholes, Okokwejo, Gemsbokvlakte, Halali, are not just gathering places for wildlife. They are icons. Lit at night, they offer a rare magical sight, the silence of the dark, broken only by the quiet steps of animals, emerging under a sky full of stars to drink from the savannah's last drops. As the first light breaks, between 5:30 and 7 in the morning, the savannah breathes a rare moment of cool relief. During the dry season, in places like the Serengeti and the Okavango, temperatures dip to just 14 to 20 degrees Celsius. The air is still, the ground has yet to heat, and the water at the holes lies crystal clear, untouched, undisturbed. This fragile hour belongs to the cautious. Small herbivores arrive early, seizing their chance before predators stir. They move like shadows, alert, precise, never lingering. A few sips, then they vanish back into cover. Every step calculated, every second measured. Among the first to appear, the springbok. They never come alone. Sometimes just a handful, sometimes dozens, each keeping distance to avoid a trap, yet close enough to share warnings with the flick of an ear, a glance, a sudden jolt. When they lower their heads, it is for mere seconds. Then heads up, ears stiff, muscles coiled. At the faintest hint of danger, the entire herd explodes into motion, vanishing like a gust of wind. And when agitated, the springbok put on a display unlike any other, leaping 2 to 3 meters into the air, backs arched, the white stripe of fur along their spine, flashing like a signal fire. This dramatic leap, pronking, is more than acrobatics. To predators it declares, "I see you." To fellow springbok it is communication, a warning, a surge of emotion, or even a display of strength, both social and biological. Every movement is calculated, nothing wasted. Footage from hidden cameras reveals they spend only moments at the waterhole, unlike zebras who linger far longer. This brevity is their shield. By minimizing risk, they reduce the chance of ambush, a survival strategy carved by evolution and sharpened by intelligence. In the savannah, even a single drink of water is a gamble with life and death. In Zimbabwe's Hwange National Park, studies reveal how the presence of lions reshapes the behavior of herbivores. Buffalo, giraffe, kudu all keep their distance from waterholes when the pride is near, especially after dark. Thirst must wait, for a single mistake could mean death. But another predator stalks these same edges, one that hunts alone. Not with speed like the cheetah, nor in numbers like the lion. The leopard. moving silently through the tall grass. It slips between shadow and moonlight, the perfect veil for an ambush. It pauses for a quiet drink, then ascends into the branches, where its power is revealed. The leopard is no sprinter. Instead, it is a climber, gripping bark with razor claws, launching itself up to 6 meters in a single bound. Its golden eyes burn in the dark, amplified by the tapetum lucidum, nature's night vision. Monkeys stir, but their daylight eyes cannot pierce the gloom. A rustle, then silence. Panic erupts too late. The hunter descends with its midnight prize, vanishing into the brush. Leopards avoid waterholes for themselves, wary of exposure. Yet for prey, these shrinking pools are irresistible traps. Impalas, bushbucks, warthogs, all will come when thirst overpowers caution. All risk becoming a meal for the master of stealth. Patience defines the leopard. It can wait minutes for a single step closer, measuring every sound, every shift of wind, until the strike is certain. Then it launches, 60 kilometers per hour in a short burst, jaws clamping on throat or spine. What sets it apart is not only the kill, but the aftermath. With sheer strength, it drags its catch, sometimes heavier than itself, into the treetops. Here, lions, hyenas, and wild dogs cannot follow. Only the leopard feasts, alone, in silence. Adaptability is its secret. From forests to deserts, it eats almost anything. Birds, fish, antelope, even insects. In the Kalahari's arid edges, it can live off the moisture of prey. This flexibility has made it one of Africa's most enduring hunters. Yet even the phantom is under siege. Once spread across Africa and Asia, the leopard has vanished from 13 countries, pushed toward extinction in 7 more. Today, it survives in just a fraction of its former range, strongholds in Tanzania, Namibia, Botswana, and South Africa. Tanzania holds the most, up to 10,000, haunting the Serengeti and Ngorongoro. But survival is not guaranteed. Lions kill nearly a quarter of leopards in some regions. Hyenas steal almost half their kills. Only when prey hangs in the treetops is the balance restored. The leopard remains the phantom of the savannah, elusive, adaptable, and endlessly patient. An apex predator caught between survival and decline. For centuries, the spotted hyena carried a reputation as little more than a scavenger. But modern research reveals a different truth. Up to 95% of its diet comes not from stealing, but from its own hunts. Wildebeest, buffalo calves, even the swift Thompson's gazelle can fall, not because they are weak, but because the hyena's strategy is relentless. Unlike lions or cheetahs, which rely on bursts of speed and sudden ambush, the spotted hyena is built for endurance. With massive hearts, dense muscle, and powerful hind legs, it can maintain a punishing pace of 60 kilometers an hour, long after most prey has begun to falter. The hunt is not a sprint, it is a war of attrition. Hyenas take turns leading, refusing to let their quarry rest. When exhaustion sets in, the clan closes its circle, blocking, flanking, overwhelming. Once the collapse comes, chaos erupts. dozens of voices rise in a storm of cackles and growls. Within half an hour, a zebra's remains can be stripped down to nothing but scattered bone. And even bone is no refuge. With jaws delivering up to 4,500 newtons of force, the strongest of any land mammal, hyenas crack through the toughest marrow. Nothing is wasted. Around waterholes, where zebras, impalas, wildebeest, and kudu gather under the cover of night, hyenas don't hide. They pressure their prey as a unit, splitting into flanking groups, communicating with eerie laughs and whoops, coded signals in the dark. This precision comes from their society. Hyenas live in clans that can number up to 80, ruled not by males, but by dominant females. Larger, heavier, and hormonally primed with testosterone-like compounds, females enforce a strict matrilineal order. Their unusual anatomy even mirrors that of males, confounding early naturalists and shaping a uniquely female-dominated hierarchy. In large numbers, hyenas challenge any rival, even lions. Clans hold territories that stretch across hundreds of square kilometers, patrolling with scent marks, calls, and social alliances. Some individuals leave to found new groups, while others remain, reinforcing bonds in a web of complex interactions, rivaling primates. Adaptability is their key to survival. Hyenas eat almost anything: small mammals, birds, reptiles, insects, even human waste in villages. They endure deserts, high-altitude plateaus above 4,000 meters, woodlands and grasslands alike. In arid zones, they may travel dozens of kilometers in a single night to reach water, then wait for the perfect moment to strike. But they are not only predators. By consuming carrion, hyenas cleanse the landscape of disease. By thinning herbivore herds, they shape grazing patterns, which in turn shapes vegetation and even the survival of other carnivores. In the African hierarchy of predators, lions dominate with strength, leopards with stealth. The spotted hyena rules through unity, endurance, and an unrivaled ability to seize every opportunity the wild provides. As night descends upon the savannah, darkness swallows the land. The waterholes shimmer faintly under the cold glow of the moon. Out of the silence, lions begin to stir. They do not march directly to the water's edge. Instead, they melt into the tall grasses and earthen mounds, waiting, patient and unseen, every shadow, every breath of wind concealing their presence. Lions are the only great cats to live and hunt as one, bound together in social groups known as prides. United, they can topple prey weighing hundreds of kilograms, wildebeest, zebra, even the formidable African buffalo. On rare and desperate occasions, they dare to charge at giants. Tonight, in the heart of a drying waterhole, a black rhino thrashes in despair. Trapped in the grip of thick, suffocating mud, its massive body weighs it down. Twin horns sweep wildly, cutting the air, but each struggle only sinks it deeper. From the shadows, 3 golden shapes emerge. Lionesses, the seasoned huntresses of the pride. Among lions, the hunt belongs to the females. Really 90% of kills are claimed by them. Their bodies are sculpted for bursts of sheer explosive speed, capable of sprinting up to 80 kilometers per hour, though only for a heartbeat. Now, that lethal power converges upon the trapped giant. The rhino bellows, a rasping roar that echoes into the night. A beast of up to 1,400 kilograms, reduced to a prisoner of mud. One lioness lunges, sinking her teeth into its flank, but the rhino's armor, nearly 5 centimeters thick, holds strong. With a violent surge of strength, it tears free and charges. The hunters scatter. Tonight, the giant escapes. Such failures are rare. Lions more often target antelope and grazers drawn to the water's edge. Their hunts unfold with ruthless precision. A few circle silently behind the herd, herding prey into the waiting jaws of their companions. Flattened to the earth, golden coats blend seamlessly into dust and shadow. Then, in an instant, the trap springs. A single leap, a strike of claws, and the savannah quakes beneath their power. Yet the hunt is only the beginning. When the kill is made, the male takes his due first, asserting dominance as he guards the feast from thieves like the spotted hyena. His other duty, patrolling the boundaries of the pride, safeguarding the precious water holes that mean life or death in the dry season. From zebra to wildebeest, buffalo to warthog, the lion's appetite echoes their reign at the very top of the food chain. Even young giraffes or the frail are not spared, and what the lions leave behind does not go to waste. Carcasses become a banquet for scavengers, vultures descending from the heavens to return life's remains back to the earth. High above, these masters of the sky patrol in circles between 500 and 1,500 meters. Their eyes, 3 to 4 times sharper than our own, sweep the savannah for the faintest signs. A staggering wildebeest, a fallen zebra, a sudden commotion of dust. With sight as their weapon, they read the savannah's every secret. When one vulture dips toward death, others, even miles away, follow in a chain of silent signals. Above the savannah, they mark the rhythm of survival, the eternal dance of predator and prey. When a predator abandons its kill, the savannah soon stirs with dark wings. Within an hour, dozens, sometimes hundreds, of vultures descend from the skies, each one drawn by the silent signal of circling companions above. Every feature of the vulture's body is sculpted by evolution for one purpose: scavenging. Their bald heads and bare necks slip easily into the rib cage of a carcass, staying free of gore. Hooked beaks rip through the toughest hides of buffalo and giraffe, while rough tongues scrape every last strand of muscle from bone. With long, sinuous necks, they reach deep into the body's core, liver, heart, intestines, where the richest nutrients lie. But it is their stomachs that hold the true secret. A cauldron of acid, near pH 1, capable of destroying what would kill almost any other creature. Anthrax spores, rabies viruses, botulinum toxins, supported by a microbiome, evolved to neutralize decay itself. Vultures transform death into energy, preventing plague from sweeping the land. Across Africa, white-backed vultures and Ruppel's vultures reign as wide-ranging nomads of the skies. Their migrations follow the great herds of wildebeest and zebra. Guided by invisible rivers of scent and sight, GPS trackers have revealed individuals covering more than 1,800 kilometers in just 2 weeks, scouring dry riverbeds for the faintest chance of food. At the Waterhole, competition explodes, not only among different vulture species, but with another shadow of death, the marabou stork. Towering a meter tall, armed with a bill over 30 centimeters long, the stork strides directly into the chaos, pushing aside rivals to claim its share. What vultures shred from the surface, marabou storks pry from within, snatching scraps hidden in water or clinging stubbornly to bone. Like vultures, their design speaks of survival. Bald heads, dagger-like bills, and a strange inflatable throat pouch, perhaps a tool for cooling or a signal in their harsh social world. Their menu is even broader. Fish, frogs, lizards, rodents, eggs, even garbage near human settlements. Opportunists to the core, they may take what the savannah offers, whether fresh, rotting, or still struggling. At the margins of the Waterhole, marabou storks watch for weakness, a wounded bird, a struggling fish trapped in shrinking mud. With swift, spear-like strikes, they add fresh kills to their scavenged meals. Together, vultures and marabou storks embody nature's final act. They strip the savannah clean, recycling death into life, and ensuring that, in this harsh arena, nothing is ever wasted. Unlike the larger antelopes that creep forward with caution, Guinea fowl burst onto the scene with their trademark bustle and boundless energy. A flock is never small. 10, 20, sometimes more than 25, moving as one, a tightly knit social unit. Their voices never fall silent. Loud rhythmic calls ripple across the air, keeping the group connected, keeping danger at bay. This constant chatter is more than noise. It is a lifeline. Impalas, wildebeest, even zebras benefit from their vigilance. A single alarm call can ripple 150 meters across open terrain, triggering instant defenses in creatures far beyond their own kind. Though they have wings, they rarely waste them. When danger strikes, they run, fast, coordinated, relentless. At speeds of 35 kilometers an hour, weaving and darting unpredictably, they leave predators frustrated in the dust. Their eyes, tuned to the slightest flicker of motion, grant them a survival edge. Their nervous systems are sharpened for vigilance, their reactions near instant. But Guinea fowl are more than survivors. They are shapers of the land. Feeding on seeds, bulbs, and swarms of insects, they cleanse the savannah. Opportunistic hunters, they will even seize lizards or young snakes when the chance arises. Around waterholes, they scour the muddy fringes, drawn to insect-rich zones. Careful never to wander too close to the treacherous water's edge where crocodiles lie in wait. They are everywhere. South Africa, Botswana, Namibia, Zimbabwe, Angola. 28 to 30 million strong. Most roam outside protected areas, thriving in semi-arid scrub, grasslands, even farmland. As the dry season grips the land, they cluster around the last remaining waterholes. When the rains return, they scatter once more across the plains. Insects fall silent in their path. Plant debris is cleared. Feeding grounds are opened for smaller birds, lapwings, sand grouse, and countless others. The Guinea fowl, noisy, restless, unyielding, are not just part of the savannah. They are its watchmen, its early warning system, its restless guardians. Midday on the African savannah. The sun scorches the earth, and the shade of a tree becomes a rare treasure. It is at this unforgiving hour that giraffes begin their slow, deliberate approach to the waterhole. Unlike other grazers that prefer the safety of dawn or dusk, giraffes choose the heat of noon, a time when lions, leopards, and hyenas retreat to rest. It's a strategy, a gamble, and it works. Their towering height grants them a sweeping view of the plains, but to drink, they must bow, a giant folding itself down, a frame stretched and exposed. For those moments, balance is lost, and the most powerful advantage of the giraffe becomes its greatest weakness. They never linger. Each sit is fleeting, measured in seconds. Lower, drink, raise, scan, listen, lower again. In groups, one always stands guard, towering above the others, eyes sweeping the horizon. Height is their glory. Adult males can rise above 5.5 meters, weighing nearly 2,000 kilograms. Females, slightly smaller, still dwarf most creatures of the savannah. With their elongated necks and half-meter tongues, they pluck acacia leaves armored with thorns, reaching what no other herbivore dares. They do not thunder across the land like elephants, nor churn the dust like buffalo. Instead, they glide through the plains, leaving little trace. Gentle giants with a surprisingly light ecological touch. But even giants must drink carefully. Steep banks, murky pools, blocked views, these they avoid. They seek gentle slopes and open water, where their eyes can search wide and far. For danger does not only creep from the bushes. Sometimes it waits below the surface, silent, still, patient. The Nile crocodile. There are rare chilling accounts of crocodiles lunging at giraffes mid-drink, striking at the bowed posture of the giant. Most fail. These towering herbivores are cautious, deliberate, and calculated in every move, and so each sip becomes a ritual of survival. Lower, drink, rise, scan. The rhythm of giants in a land where hesitation could mean death. So tell us, are you the kind who drinks in quick sips, always watching your surroundings? Or do you drink slowly, unbothered, as if nothing could ever catch you off guard? As the sun climbs higher, the savannah hardens under the weight of the heat. The air turns sharp, the ground bleached white, and the once calm waterhole transforms into chaos. Zebras, wildebeest, buffalo, herds upon herds press forward, churning the shallows into a muddy broth, heavy with the scent of sweat and dust. Beneath that murky veil, peace is an illusion. Here, patience rules. A ripple, a pair of nostrils, the glint of unblinking eyes, signs of the Nile crocodile. Some stretch over 5 meters in length, weighing more than 700 kilograms, and yet they barely disturb the water. Their scaled armor mirrors the mud, their stillness as complete as stone. They wait, hours, days, sometimes weeks, for a single mistake. One downward sit from an antelope, one moment of lowered guard, then an eruption. A lunge at 12 meters per second, the strike so sudden that sound itself seems too slow to catch it. Prey dragged under before it can cry out. This is no pursuit predator. The crocodile wins by patience, not speed. by silence, not force. Every movement is measured, every burst of violence calculated. But giants share the waterhole. Hippos slide in, their bulk sending shivers across the surface. There is no friendship here, but no open war either. The hippo is too massive to kill, the crocodile too dangerous to ignore. They coexist like uneasy neighbors until the water shrinks. When the pool recedes to a fraction of its size, every square meter becomes a battlefield. The hippo charges, jaws gaping, tusks longer than a man's arm. The crocodile slips back into the depths, vanishing in a swirl of mud. The fight is avoided, for now. The Nile crocodile has survived like this for over 50 million years. Its strength lies not just in power, but in patience, adaptability, and a strategy honed over eons. To drink at the waterhole is to gamble with death. For above the surface, thirst rules all life, but below it, the silent trap waits. As the dry season stretches across the savannah, the earth splits under the burning sun. Herds of hippopotamus begin their slow march toward the last remaining waterholes. These are more than just places to drink. They are sanctuaries, lifelines in a world running desperately low on water. At midday, when the air blisters above 40 degrees, hippos sink beneath the surface, their bodies cooled and steadied around 36 degrees. With massive frames, thick hides, and almost no sweat glands, water is their only shield against the relentless sun. Each adult can weigh more than 1,500 kilograms, yet in water they move with surprising grace. Though unable to swim like fish, they glide forward by walking the riverbed, pushing through the mud like hulking, agile submarines. This lifestyle makes the shrinking waterhole the center of all activity during the dry season. But as space diminishes, tempers rise. Dominant males, fiercely territorial, clash with powerful shoves, bone-crunching collisions, and thunderous bellows that echo across the pool. Even a wide yawn becomes a challenge, a declaration of power. Marking territory is crucial. Hippos scatter dung with whirling tails, a unique system of communication, staking claims, warning rivals, even signaling reproductive status. As resources dwindle, these messages become more important than ever, helping avoid costly fights. Across Africa, hippos are tied to rivers, lakes, and floodplains, yet their range has shrunk in recent decades under the weight of habitat loss and human pressure. Today, only around 115,000 to 130,000 remain, with the largest populations in Zambia, Mozambique, Tanzania, Uganda, and South Africa. Zambia alone shelters more than 37,000 along its wetlands and river systems. Hippos are more than residents, they are engineers. As they move, they carve channels that redirect water and preserve soil moisture. Their waste, while sometimes depleting oxygen if concentrated, nourishes bottom-dwelling organisms and fish, enriching the food web. But their story does not end with the sun. When night falls and moonlight silvers the water, hippos leave their pools. They graze across the savannah, often traveling 5 to 10 kilometers under the cover of darkness before returning at dawn. Night brings new players. Lions, leopards, and hyenas stir, shadows circling the waterholes. They rarely come to drink. Instead, they hunt, skirting the edges to avoid detection while seeking prey drawn to the last precious water. Here, life and survival converge, bound by the shrinking pools of a dry season that tests every creature of the African wild. Perched on a sun-bleached branch, the African fish eagle waits like a sentinel. Its piercing yellow eyes track every movement below. Along the shoreline, a marabou stork struggles with a heavy fish, wings flapping as it drags its catch from the shallows. The commotion is a signal too loud to ignore. The eagle leans forward, wings unfolding into a vast span of 2.3 meters. With a sudden dive, it cuts through the air, wind screaming past its feathers. But its target is not the fish in the water. It is the thief that holds it. A shrill cry splits the air. The stork freezes, just for an instant. The fish slips free, tumbling onto the mud. That hesitation is all the eagle needs. Folding its wings tight, it plunges like an arrow. Talons lined with coarse spicules clamp down with lethal force. Only its feet brush the water before it surges upward again, silver prize glistening in its grasp. The African fish eagle is the emblem of Africa's waters, a close cousin of North America's bald eagle. Its kingdom stretches across sub-Saharan Africa, rivers like the Nile and Zambezi, Lakes Victoria, Tanganyika, Malawi, and even man-made waterholes deep within reserves. Unlike true migrants, it follows the rhythm of seasons, shifting wherever fish remain abundant. Satellite tracking in 2024 recorded flights of nearly 200 kilometers between wetlands in Botswana and Zimbabwe, a relentless pursuit of food across a changing landscape. Here, it rules with a dual nature: predator of fish and waterbirds, scavenger of carrion, thief of other hunters' catches. This role not only shapes fish populations, but also ensures no meal is wasted. At the waterhole, its presence alone casts a shadow of fear. Every bird, from heron to stork, moves cautiously beneath its watchful gaze, for when the fish eagle screams overhead, the skies themselves belong to the hunter. As night surrenders to dawn, the last echoes of darkness fade across the waterhole. Predators melt into shadow, leaving behind a silence heavy with tension. A new day begins, one carved by hunger, thirst, and the razor edge of survival. The Savannah has entered its most merciless season. Pools shrink, shorelines retreat, and shallow basins vanish in less than 2 weeks. Cracked mud and tangled tracks are all that remain where water once stood. Now, only the deepest water holes endure, magnetic lifelines pulling every creature, predator and prey alike, to the same fragile refuge. Here, boundaries blur. There is no safe hour, no protective distance. The waterhole becomes nature's last supper, where desperate herds and deadly hunters gather shoulder to shoulder, each risking everything for a muddy sip. Cape buffalo are often among the first to arrive. Their vast herds roam the savanna, their massive, dark forms casting long shadows across the dust. Once numbering over 500,000, their ranks now dwindle, driven down by habitat loss, relentless hunting, and the pressures of a changing climate. Even so, they remain among Africa's most formidable survivors. Life in the herd is their greatest strength. From a few dozen to 1,000 strong, buffalo live by a strict hierarchy, reinforced not by blood, but by ritualized horn duels, clashing tests of strength that echo across the plains. At the waterhole, They drink with urgency, usually in the cool of morning or evening. When the dry season deepens, their world narrows to these shrinking pools, the last refuge against the relentless sun. They wallow in mud, coating their bodies in a natural armor against insects and heat. Once dried, it hardens into a shield, both protection and badge of survival. Young bulls clash in practice bouts, horns cracking like gunfire above the din of hooves and splashing water. But the Waterhole is no sanctuary. It is a battlefield. Here, Cape buffalo face rivals as formidable as themselves. Rhinos meet them horn to horn in standoffs where size, strength, and will decide the victor. Yet the greatest challenge comes not from rhino, but from giants. When elephants arrive, buffalo withdraw. Against Earth's largest land mammal, even these titans know their limits. The savannah may bend them, test them, and drive them to the edge, but the Cape buffalo endures. For in the harshest season of all, survival favors the strong, and strength is written in their very bones. Elephants don't come to the water just to drink. Here, survival flows through every drop. The pools are places to cool their vast bodies, tend to their skin, and nurture the bonds that keep the herd united. An adult elephant can consume up to 300 liters a day, each sip drawn by its trunk, the most versatile tool in the animal kingdom. When the heat surges past 40 degrees Celsius, water becomes not a luxury, but a lifeline. These waterholes are more than just wells. They are spas, playgrounds, and gathering grounds. Adults bathe and spray one another. Young calves splash and tumble in the shallows. Bulls clash in harmless contests of strength. Every interaction weaves invisible threads of loyalty, resilience, and unity. When surface water dries, elephants dig into the cracked earth with tusks and feet, unearthing hidden reserves. In doing so, they provide not only for themselves, but also for countless other creatures of the savannah. For this, they are called the ecosystem engineers. Africa's giants are scattered across the continent, numbering around 415,000. But their story is shadowed by decline. Savannah elephants have fallen by 70% since the 1960s. Forest elephants by a devastating 90%. Victims of poaching and vanishing lands. Even the largest land animal cannot outrun humanity's reach. As the seasons shift, elephants march with the rains. In the dry months, they return faithfully to the most reliable sources. Some herds in Botswana travel more than 300 kilometers to reach the life-giving Chobe River, while others in Tanzania or Namibia push farther each day, battling exhaustion and heat. At the Waterhole, elephants reign. Their dominance can be stern, even aggressive, but it ensures the survival of the herd. In a land where the ground splits open under the sun, water is more precious than gold. One day, a lone bull approaches. Waiting at the edge is a black rhino, muscles taut, horns gleaming. It refuses to drink, refuses to move. The elephant halts, exhales, and casts dust into the air, a warning, but the rhino stands its ground. Slowly, the elephant turns away, fading into the thicket. The stillness shatters. From the woodland comes the crack of branches, like drums of war. More bulls emerge, silent, immense, unstoppable. The rhino hesitates, then yields. Step by step, it retreats into the shadows, conceding the water to Africa's true giants. black rhinoceros is not bound to any single waterhole. It comes only when the land grows quiet, often in the softer hours of the day. Their visits are brief, just enough time to drink their fill before fading back into the cover of the surrounding thickets. Under favorable conditions, a rhino can drink up to 35 liters of water a day. But when the land dries and rivers turn to dust, they can endure days without a single sip, drawing life instead from the moisture hidden in leaves and tender twigs. Around the water's edge, the mud tells their story. Large, round footprints mark the ground. Here, they wallow, rolling their massive frames so that every inch is coated in cool mud. Once dried, this layer becomes armor, shielding them against the blazing sun, biting insects, and relentless parasites. Each visit leaves behind a ring of dried mud, silent signatures of survival. Though solitary by nature, black rhinos still leave messages at the waterhole. Dung piles called middens and streams of sprayed urine form an invisible language. These signs carry meaning, a warning to rivals or an invitation to a mate. But with such strong ties to territory and a volatile temperament, clashes are almost inevitable. When two rhinos meet, a tense standoff can explode into a violent battle. Sharp horns strike with deadly force. Many contests end in wounds that scar for life, and some cost far more than that. In the burning heart of the dry season, one truth remains. Water is worth fighting for, sometimes more valuable than life itself. As the dry season nears its end, the Savannah sky begins to shift. Colors deepen and heavy clusters of cloud roll in, heavy yet full of promise. The first drops fall, gentle, scattered, almost hesitant. Then the rain strengthens, soaking the cracked earth in a fresh, life-giving flood. The waterholes transform before our eyes. Once shrunken pools of mud swell and overflow, expanding their reach. Some merge together, forming vast wetlands across the plains. The rains do more than restore. They cleanse. Sediments are flushed, oxygen surges, and the waters turn fresh and clean, ready to fuel life once again. Around the banks, green rises with astonishing speed. In just weeks, fresh grass carpets the land, shooting up to a meter high, soft, tender, rich in nutrients. For zebras, wildebeest, and buffalo, it is a banquet reborn. Insects swarm in the billions. Dragonflies, mosquitoes, beetles, forming the foundation of a thriving food chain. And with them come the migrants, birds traveling thousands of kilometers from Europe, Central Asia, and the Middle East, finding here both a refuge and a nursery. Among them arrives one of Africa's most curious residents, nicknamed the Jesus bird. The African Jakana appears to walk on water. Its impossibly long toes spread its weight across floating lily pads, allowing it to glide effortlessly over the surface. The rainy season is its kingdom. Shallow, plant-choked waters become both hunting ground and breeding territory. The Jakana probes the leaves delicately, searching for hidden insects and tiny invertebrates. Each cluster of lilies becomes a miniature world, and the Jakana a patient hunter. But what sets it apart most is its family life. Unlike most birds, here the female rules. Larger, more colorful, and fiercely territorial, she mates with several males, leading them each with the duty of care. The male builds a flimsy nest of floating plants, then incubates the eggs alone, balancing carefully on shifting waters. When the chicks hatch, They walk within hours. Yet the father's role is far from finished. He guards them, leads them, even shelters them beneath his wings in a remarkable act called wing brooding. Meanwhile, the female has already moved on, laying her legacy in multiple nests, spreading risk across the wetlands. It is a strategy shaped by evolution. The female ensures genetic breadth, while the male secures survival. Together, they weave resilience into the rhythm of the rains. After the African Jakana dances lightly across the water's surface, the savanna shifts once more. Fresh streaks of rain carve silver paths through the land, feeding the waterholes. And in this new stillness, a shadow appears. The gray heron, tall, silent, and statuesque, standing nearly a meter high, with wings stretching almost 2 meters wide. It is a striking silhouette. Yet when it freezes, its silvery plumage and black crest melt into the ashen sky and pale shrubs. In an instant, predator becomes invisible. The rainy season is its ally. While the land softens and slows, the heron perfects its art of patience. It does not pursue, it waits. Balanced on one leg, motionless for minutes, sometimes hours. The water's surface lies undisturbed, while below, fish, frogs, and insects drift unknowingly beneath the hunter's gaze. Then, sudden lightning. A spear of a beak flashes down, precise, lethal. Prey is pierced or snatched whole, swallowed before the ripples fade. This master of stillness is no picky eater. From fish and shrimp to crabs, even a stray mouse or chick, anything careless enough to come close will not escape. It is adaptability that gives the gray heron its edge, thriving in wetlands that appear and vanish with the rains. But survival is not its only mission. As the breeding season arrives, the solitary hunter becomes part of a colony. Dozens gather in towering heronries, nests built high in trees or shrubs above floodwaters. 3 to 5 pale blue eggs lie cradled within. For nearly 2 months, parents guard and feed the chicks until their wings are strong enough to carry them into the skies. The rainy season ensures plenty of food for these fragile lives. Across continents, the gray heron's domain stretches wide, from Europe to Asia and south into the wetlands of Africa. Some remain permanent guardians of deltas and marshes. Others migrate vast distances, 2,000 kilometers or more, chasing water, chasing life. From the Okavango Delta to Table Bay, wherever the rains gather, the gray heron waits, patient, silent, deadly. Though they share shades of gray in both name and plumage, the gray-crowned crane lives by an entirely different rhythm. As the first rains soak into the savanna and shallow pools return, these cranes descend with wings outstretched. Their golden crowns glint in the sunlight, a regal presence long celebrated as a symbol of grace and elegance in the wild. Unlike the silent heron, the crane is rarely still. It paces the water's edge, every step measured, every movement deliberate. With each firm stomp, the mud trembles, and hidden creatures scatter. Frogs leap, insects burst from cover, and in that instant, the crane's sharp beak strikes with precision. Swift, certain, a hunter that stirs life from the earth itself. Their diet is broad and opportunistic: grasshoppers, lizards, seeds, even the occasional egg. Yet for the crane, survival is not just about the hunt. It is about connection. On the flooded plains, pairs and small family groups gather. They sit from shallow pools, their slender silhouettes reflected in the sunlit water. Then comes the call, a resonant trumpet that echoes far across the savanna. a sound both primal and haunting, a voice of the land itself. And with or without breeding season, the dance begins. A ritual of leaps and bows, wings flared wide like living ballet. They spin, toss twigs into the air, and sway in perfect synchrony. These dances are not mere displays. They are the language of loyalty, strengthening bonds between lifelong partners. Though they are not long-distance migrants, the gray-crowned cranes follow the rains, moving with the seasons in search of water and green growth. From Uganda and Rwanda to Kenya, Tanzania, and South Africa, they inhabit wetlands and floodplains, even fields tilled by human hands. So iconic is their beauty that they stand at the heart of Uganda's flag, a national emblem of composure, elegance, and pride. Across the Great Lakes region, they are woven into song, dance, and festival, creatures of both wilderness and culture. In the wild, they may live up to 25 years, under care, even 40. But their legacy lies not in their years, but in their presence, their dance, their call, their crown of gold against the evening sky. In the fading light, as a pair sways together over shimmering water, it is easy to believe that, for a moment, uncertainty has no place here. The parched earth of Okol-Kujo trembles beneath the heavy, steady steps of a herd of blue wildebeest. Standing about 125 centimeters tall at the shoulder and weighing around 200 kilograms on average, these antelopes possess a strong, muscular build. Their coats shimmer with a deep, silvery gray hue, often catching subtle hints of blue in the sunlight, complemented by a long black mane and a thick beard along the chin. Despite their bulky frame, blue wildebeest are surprisingly agile. When threatened, they can reach speeds of up to 80 kilometers per hour, a vital adaptation in Ethiopia, where predators are never far behind. These animals live in herds, ranging from a few dozen to several thousand, a social behavior that plays a crucial role in shaping the unique ecology of Okol-Kujo. As specialized grazers, blue wildebeest primarily feed on short grasses that quickly sprout after rainfall. Their digestive systems are finely tuned to extract nutrients from coarse, low-quality vegetation, an essential advantage during the long dry season when food becomes scarce and less nutritious. At Okol-Kujo, artificial waterholes provide critical lifelines during these harsh months. Wildebeest typically gather at these watering points in the early morning or late afternoon, avoiding the blistering midday heat that can push temperatures above 45 degrees Celsius. Approaching the water in loose formations, their eyes constantly scan the surroundings, ears alert to the faintest sound. Subtle gestures, a flick of the tail, a brief grunt, serve as silent communication, maintaining the herd's cohesion amid the quiet tension of the moment. By grazing steadily and moving frequently in search of fresh grass, blue wildebeest prevent vegetation from becoming overgrown or stale. Their feeding habits encourage new plant growth, enabling the landscape to renew itself with each rainy season. This process supports a diverse array of smaller species, from insects to birds, which thrive in the healthier, more dynamic ecosystem the wildebeest help sustain. Migration is one of the most vital behaviors for blue wildebeest, yet this instinct is increasingly disrupted across much of Africa. Artificial barriers, expanding road networks, and land development have fragmented their habitats. At Ethiopia, migratory routes still exist, but are becoming more restricted as available living space shrinks. A study published in early 2024 warned that herds confined to smaller areas are showing signs of genetic decline. Loss of genetic diversity poses a serious threat to the species' ability to adapt to future environmental challenges, including prolonged droughts and shifting climate patterns. often seen moving alongside herds of blue wildebeest. Plain zebras make their way steadily toward the scarce water sources scattered across the heart of the savanna. Amid the withered grasses and cracked earth, their presence brings a flowing rhythm to the monochrome landscape of the dry season. Medium-sized among Africa's wild equids, plain zebras stand about 1.3 meters tall at the shoulder and can weigh up to 350 kilograms when fully grown. Their distinctive black and white stripes form a unique pattern for each individual, like a biological fingerprint. These stripes serve multiple purposes. They help regulate body temperature by promoting air circulation and disrupt the visual focus of predators when zebras move together, creating confusion. In Etosha, especially around the Akaujo Waterhole, plain zebras live in social groups known as harems, small units consisting of one dominant male, several females, and their offspring. These harems often gather to form larger herds, particularly during the dry season, when the urgent need for water and food drives them to travel collectively. Plain zebras are strict grazers, specializing in short grasses that quickly regenerate after rains. Their grazing helps regulate plant biomass by clearing older vegetation, allowing fresh growth to thrive. This behavior is crucial for maintaining the vitality and balance of the shared habitat. Seasonal migration is a defining survival strategy for plain zebras. Depending on climate and grassland conditions, some herds travel up to 1,100 kilometers annually in search of sustenance. However, within Etosha National Park, migration patterns have become less uniform. Scientists have observed partial migration, where only some individuals embark on long journeys while others remain near permanent water sources like Akaujo. This behavioral split reflects both the species' adaptability and the increasing influence of human-made barriers, fences, roads, and environmental pressures such as disease outbreaks like anthrax, which tend to surge during the dry season. As of early 2025, the wild population of plain zebras is estimated between 150,000 and 250,000 mature individuals. This represents a decline of about 25% since the 1990s, driven primarily by habitat loss and illegal hunting. Although not currently classified as endangered, the species faces mounting challenges. Fragmentation of migration corridors due to urban development and agricultural expansion threatens its long-term recovery, raising concerns among conservationists about the future of these iconic grazers. As herds of plain zebras gather around the shallow water holes, a lion's gaze locks onto them from the shadows. At Akaujo, predator and prey engage in a silent battle of wits, where hunger, thirst, and the searing heat, often soaring above 48 degrees Celsius, become weapons wielded by nature itself. During the dry season, Akaujo becomes a crucial crossroads where the cycles of life converge. Prey animals have no choice but to approach the dwindling water sources, drawing both predator and prey into an inevitable confrontation. As the number of animals grows, so does their vigilance. Lionesses adapt their hunting strategy, shifting from pursuit to ambush. They use the low, dry grass, ancient earth mounds, and even the shadows cast by the crescent moon to conceal their presence. One lioness often moves deliberately toward the herd to divert attention, while 2 or 3 others silently circle through the brush, cutting behind the prey and forming a tight arc. Once within striking distance, less than 30 meters, the lionesses crouch low before erupting into a sudden burst of speed. The savanna grass seems to explode into motion as a powerful leap carries the lion onto its target's back, bringing it crashing to the ground. The hunt ends swiftly with a firm bite to the throat. An adult lion, with its powerful build, broad chest, sturdy forelimbs, and razor-sharp teeth, can bring down prey twice its size. Even so, lions in the wild have a relatively low hunting success rate, only about 20 to 25%. A pride must secure several successful kills each week to sustain itself, including the young members who are not yet able to hunt. In the scorching heat of the Namibian desert, lions conserve energy by resting up to 21 hours a day, preparing for the demands of their nocturnal hunts. Unlike most other cats, lions are social animals, living in groups called prides. A typical pride consists of related females, one or more adult males, and their offspring. The females maintain the social structure, raise the young, and do most of the hunting. The males, with their iconic thick manes and roars that can carry up to 8 kilometers, use their vocalizations not only to mark territory, but also as a clear warning to potential intruders. Amid the hazy dust of the savanna, the low rumble of a lion's roar echoes through the Okaujo night, a solemn reminder that life is a sacred gift. To hold on to it, every creature must fight on, part of a wondrous design woven by the Creator. From nature's perspective, there are no heroes or villains, only instincts divinely given to endure. Yet the Ngorongoro crater is not only a sanctuary for flamingos and black rhinos, it is also a closed dominion where predators reign. Among them prowls the Serval, a medium-sized cat whose body is built with extraordinary proportions. Its long legs, particularly the hind limbs, give it an impressive shoulder height of nearly 60 centimeters, while its light frame, weighing only between 9 and 18 kilograms, makes it swift and agile. Its oversized ears, upright like twin satellite dishes, are tuned with exquisite precision, able to catch the faintest rustle in the tall grass or the slightest stirring beneath damp soil. These remarkable traits make the Serval one of the most efficient hunters in the entire cat family. In the ever-whispering grasslands of Ngorongoro, this elusive cat has perfected its hunting craft. Moving silently through the cover of tall grasses, it freezes the moment prey is detected, often rodents, ground birds, or small snakes, its whole body attuned to the tiniest scratch beneath the earth. Then, in a sudden burst, its spring-like legs launch it into the air, cutting off escape with astonishing speed. With the longest legs in proportion to body size among all cats, a Serval can leap 2 meters high to snatch birds from flight or strike down upon a snake within reach. Their hunting success rate, nearly 50%, far surpasses that of lions or leopards. An adult Serval may consume, on average, 4,000 rodents, 260 snakes, and 130 birds in a single year, a natural regulator, keeping small animal populations in balance. They are most active in the cool hours of dawn and dusk, when rodents and small birds emerge to forage. But for mothers raising young, the rhythm shifts. By hunting more in daylight, they reduce the risk of dangerous encounters with the dominant predators of the crater, lions among them. As the sun sinks beyond the rim of the crater, deep roars roll across the land, echoing against the sheer cliffs. It is more than just the sound of territory. It is a declaration of supremacy, the voice of the lion, apex hunter of the Ngorongoro crater. Recent surveys record their numbers at just 70 individuals, divided among 8 prides. That means a density of up to 25 lions per 100 square kilometers, several times higher than the vast plains of the Serengeti or even Kruger. But here, the males stand out even more, formidable figures crowned with heavy, dark manes. A lion's mane is shaped by genetics, hormones, and climate. Males with darker, sometimes jet-black manes carry higher levels of testosterone, enjoy greater reproductive success, and often live longer lives than their lighter-maned rivals. In Ngorongoro, more than 60% of adult males bear this dark crown. And in struggles for dominance, the black mane confers both a physical advantage and the favor of lionesses. But history has left its mark on this population. In 1962, an outbreak of biting flies nearly wiped the lions from the crater. Only a dozen survivors remained, and from this tiny remnant, the present population was rebuilt. The genetic bottleneck left them with far less diversity than neighboring Serengeti lions, and within the crater's limited territory, where prey is abundant and prides live close together, the pressure for dominance burns hotter than almost anywhere else. When two males meet at the boundary of their ranges, there is no retreat. Their roars shake the air, announcing the clash to come. Thick, dark manes shield their throats, both a display of power and a defense against crushing bites. Then they collide, 180 kilograms of muscle slamming together, claws tearing the earth. White fangs flashing for the kill. The battle is not only for land, it is for bloodlines, for the right to hold the pride, for the very legacy of strength. In Ngorongoro, the victor claims territory and breeding rights. The defeated is cast out of the social order. While males defend the pride's borders, it is the lionesses who carry the burden of the hunt. Moving in small, disciplined groups, they weave through tall grasses and roll with the terrain, inching closer to their prey. Across Africa, lion hunts succeed less than 1 in 3 times. But here, in the fertile bowl of Ngorongoro, prides can push that success to nearly 40%. Their skills honed across generations, sharpened by abundance, and bound by the power of cooperation. In the fading light, as tall grasses still radiate the warmth of day, a fierce standoff unfolds. A pride of lions has just brought down a zebra. But before they can feast, silent shapes gather at the edges. Spotted hyenas, not one, but many. Their quick steps make no sound. Eyes glimmer in the dusk. Then comes the shrill laughter, a chilling chorus that rises like a challenge. In Ngorongoro, the confrontation between these two apex predators is as old as memory itself. Here, in this closed arena, where encounters are always face-to-face, the rivalry burns fiercer than ever. With numbers ranging from nearly 400 to close to 500 individuals, the spotted hyena is the most abundant carnivore of the crater. Recent surveys confirm at least 8 clans thrive here, some with as many as 80 members within territories no larger than 40 square kilometers. At such density, clashes with lions can occur almost daily. Raw strength belongs to the lion, but strategy and numbers belong to the hyena. Confrontations begin with watchful distance, escalate to encirclements, isolations, and at times, raids on lionesses when males are away. Lions retaliate in kind, killing hyena pups or lone wanderers when the chance arises. This cycle of conflict has shaped the very balance of Ngorongoro, where the strongest does not always prevail. Unlike solitary hunters, hyenas thrive through organization. Each clan is a tightly run matriarchal society. The alpha female reigns supreme, and rank is inherited by her daughters. Males, once grown, are exiled, forced to leave their birth clan and seek acceptance elsewhere. This dispersal prevents inbreeding in the crater's confined world. Such structure grants stability across generations. Strict hierarchy, disciplined food sharing, and cooperative teamwork in both hunts and defense make the hyena a formidable power, never to be underestimated. The Ngorongoro Hyena Project, one of the longest-running wildlife studies on Earth, has tracked more than 2,800 individuals across 9 generations, revealing the complexities of their society. Males do not disperse randomly. They often seek clans where a brother, cousin, or peer has already joined, improving their chances of survival and reproduction. It is a testament to social choice and awareness rarely seen among predators. Their communication is equally sophisticated, a language of giggles, hisses, whoops, and deep, resonant growls. Through these voices, clans coordinate hunts, summon allies, or rally to defend their kill. Far beyond the reputation of scavenger, the spotted hyena is an ecological architect, shaping the crater's balance through hunting, competition, and the recycling of life. In this closed system, their laughter is not just the sound of rivalry, but the echo of resilience, the heartbeat of an ecosystem both fragile and profound. If you want to live within this sealed wilderness, would you choose the order of a hyena clan, bound by the stability of matriarchy, or the might of a lion pride, driven by alliances and by force of power? Though it shares the striking black facial stripe with its close relatives, the gemsbok moves with a calm, deliberate gait, distinct from the slender grace of the impala. Its long, straight horns and solid muscular frame lend it a formidable presence on the arid plains. Its sword-like horns, reaching up to 120 centimeters, are among its most iconic features, making the gemsbok one of Africa's most visually distinctive antelopes. A smooth, gray-brown coat, boldly marked with black and white on the face, legs, and flanks, allows it to vanish against the stony, sunlit terrain. During the dry season, when temperatures can soar beyond 45 degrees Celsius and most wildlife gathers at dwindling waterholes, the gemsbok stands apart. It has evolved a remarkable independence from water, capable of surviving for weeks or even months without drinking. Its diet shifts with the season, from dry grasses to roots, tubers, and fruits like the desert melon, all rich in moisture. Remarkably, it can dig over a meter deep into parched earth to unearth hidden reserves, a survival skill finely tuned to the unforgiving rhythm of the desert. Its physiology is equally adapted, capable of tolerating internal temperatures up to 45 degrees Celsius without sweating, conserving every drop of precious moisture. A specialized network of blood vessels in the nasal passages, known as the carotid rete mirabile, acts as a natural cooling system, lowering blood temperature before it reaches the brain and shielding the central nervous system from heat stress. At night, as the air cools, the gemsbok releases stored heat without moisture loss, an elegant thermoregulation cycle honed by evolution to thrive in one of Earth's harshest environments. Primarily crepuscular, it moves at dawn and dusk when temperatures are gentler, light is softer, and predators are less active. When threatened, the gemsbok can sprint at speeds of up to 60 kilometers per hour, fast enough to outrun most predators. Yet, instead of fleeing immediately, it often turns to face the danger, lowering its horns in a bold, defensive stance. It's a posture so commanding that even seasoned hunters hesitate. In Namibia, the gemsbok is more than just a creature of the wild. It is a national emblem, proudly displayed on the country's coat of arms, symbolizing both cultural identity and ecological resilience. With an estimated national population of around 373,000 individuals, this antelope has maintained a firm stronghold, supported by stable habitats and forward-thinking conservation policies. Within Etosha National Park, particularly in the quieter, less-traveled regions of Dolomite Hill and Olifantsrus, the gemsbok lives undisturbed, preserving ancient behavioral patterns in a landscape that remains remarkably close to its original form. The Masai Mara is not only a refuge for the herds, it is also a paradise for predators. Lions roam here in extraordinary numbers, their population in the reserve estimated at around 850 individuals. Leopards, elusive and solitary, thrive at a density of 6 to 10 animals per 100 square kilometers. And the plains echo with the calls of spotted hyenas, whose clans can swell to as many as 60 members. This concentration of hunters makes the Mara one of nature's most relentless battlegrounds. Day and night, hunts unfold in an endless cycle, predators testing their instincts against the will of prey determined to survive. Among them is a shadow that slips between thickets and riverine forest, the leopard. Unlike the lions that rely on the collective strength of a pride, or the hyenas that overwhelm with numbers, the leopard follows a rhythm all its own, quiet, precise, and fiercely independent. In the chaos of migration, it becomes the embodiment of stillness, an apparition that appears only when it chooses. A leopard is a marvel of evolutionary design. Weighing between 30 and 60 kilograms, it is powerful enough to drag a wildebeest calf more than its own weight high into the branches. Strong neck muscles and muscular forelimbs allow it to hoist its prize out of reach of scavengers, turning the treetops into private larders. Unlike predators that depend on the seasonal flood of prey, the leopard survives by adaptability. From rodents, birds, and fish to gazelles, impalas, even young zebras, almost anything can fall victim when timing is perfect. This flexibility allows it to endure lean months, making it a master of survival rather than a gambler on abundance. Yet despite their resilience, leopards remain ghosts of the landscape. Rarely seen, they leave behind only a faint paw print in the damp earth, or a blood stain on the bark of an acacia. Around 50 individuals are thought to live in the reserve, with the greatest numbers hidden in the conservancies and forested riversides. Their true advantage lies not in brute strength or speed, but in patience. They do not rush into the torrent of migrating herds. Instead, they move along the edges, watching the weak, the young, the stragglers waiting for the one mistake that will expose a victim. A female leopard crouches low in the grass, her muscles coiled, her spotted coat dissolving into the shadows. Step by silent step, she closes the gap. Her keen eyes track every twitch of her target, her padded paws muting her approach. When the distance shrinks to a mere 5 meters, she strikes. A blur of motion, a burst of speed, a crushing bite to the throat. The gazelle struggles for moments only, before falling limp in her jaws. But the hunt does not end with the kill. To keep her prize safe, she drags the carcass into cover, away from prowling hyenas that would rob her in an instant. For the leopard, survival is not just in the chase, it is in the ability to vanish, to hold on to victory, and to live another day unseen. To truly grasp the drama of the hunt, we must turn our gaze to the prey, the Thomson's gazelle. Though it moves with the Great Migration, this delicate antelope follows its own subtle path. It prefers the tender regrowth of grasses, the ultra-short shoots that sprout fresh after the wildebeest has stripped the land bare. In doing so, the gazelle becomes the final grazer, the last filcher of the grasslands. Their numbers are smaller, around 500,000 strong, and their journeys shorter. Many herds never complete the vast loop into the Masai Mara, instead settling within the Serengeti. For some, even the dramatic crossings of the Mara River are avoided, as smaller groups choose safer routes that steer clear of fast-moving water. What they lack in size, they make up for with one of nature's most potent weapons, speed. Adults are capable of reaching 80 to 94 kilometers an hour, outpacing nearly all other antelopes of their size. More importantly, they can hold that pace far longer, sometimes even outlasting the lightning burst of the cheetah. For them, survival lies not in the fastest sprint, but in sheer endurance. Often the chase ends not in death, but in a blur of dust across the savannah, the gazelle vanishing into the horizon with stamina unmatched. And yet they do not rely on speed alone. Their signature behavior, starting, bounding high into the air with stiff, straight legs, sends a clear message. It warns the herd of danger, but it also broadcasts to predators, "I am strong, I can outrun you, choose another target." Life on the open plains leaves no place to hide. Instead, Thomson's gazelles have evolved exceptional senses, keen eyesight to detect the slightest movement, sharp hearing, and an acute sense of smell to catch danger carried on the wind. Within the herd, vigilance is amplified. Alarm calls, flashes of white rumps, and visual signals, weaving together into a network of awareness that allows survival against overwhelming odds. But even the sharpest senses cannot shield them completely. As grazers, they play a critical role in shaping the ecosystem, trimming and renewing the land. And as prey, they are vital to predators, most crucially to the cheetah, whose very survival depends on the availability of small antelopes like the Tommy. Under the burning sun of the Mara, the ground quakes with the thunder of wildebeest, a living tide racing across the plains. Yet within this chaos, another drama unfolds, quieter, faster, and infinitely more intense. The chase of the gazelle has begun. The cheetah does not stalk from the shadows. It stands boldly in the full light of day, its body coiled tight like a drawn bowstring, every muscle primed for release. Its amber eyes lock on a single gazelle grazing at the herd's fragile edge, a Thompson's gazelle, small, swift, and unaware of the danger now upon it. Then, in an instant, the silence shatters. The cheetah explodes forward, a blur of muscle and dust, its acceleration unmatched in the animal kingdom. In less than 20 seconds, it surges to 120 kilometers per hour, the fastest speed ever recorded on land. Each stride launches the cat 7 to 8 meters across the grassland, its spine flexing like a whip, its long tail twisting like the rudder of a ship to carve sharp turns through the air. But the gazelle is no easy prey. It reacts in a heartbeat, zigzagging with instinctive precision, its slender legs flashing in a desperate dance for survival. What looks like panic is in fact strategy. Every swerve, every sharp cut, an attempt to exhaust the predator, to outlast the lightning burst. Second by second, the two blaze across the open plain, nothing between them but speed, stamina, and raw instinct. The earth trembles beneath the chase. Dust swirls in the golden light, and then a final lunge, a collision of fur and bone. The gazelle falls, the dust rises, and fate is sealed in a space of a heartbeat. For the cheetah, survival is measured in precision, not power. With its light frame and poor defenses, it avoids the night when lions and hyenas patrol the darkness. Instead, it hunts at the bookends of the day, in the cool of morning or the fading glow of evening, times when the heat is bearable, the light is soft, and the competition has yet to stir, or has already begun to tire. Cheetahs themselves live lives as varied as the savannah. Females roam alone, raising their cubs in solitude, forever on the move to shield them from prowling predators. Males, however, often find strength in numbers. They form coalitions, tight-knit brotherhoods that work together to hunt, to patrol, and to defend sprawling territories. One coalition, known as the Tono Bora, stunned researchers by bringing down adult wildebeest, an extraordinary feat for a predator built for smaller prey. And yet, for all its brilliance, the cheetah lives precariously close to the edge. Every hunt is costly, burning energy reserves in seconds. After such explosive effort, the cat must rest, panting heavily, vulnerable. It is then that the true struggle begins, for lions, hyenas, and even leopards often arrive to steal the prize. In the Masai Mara, cheetahs lose as much as half their kills to stronger rivals, forcing them to hunt nearly every day just to endure, just to feed their young. Deep within Ngorongoro crater, often described as a primordial arena of life, dwells a bird bathed in soft pink, as if sunset itself had spilled across the salt flats. This is the lesser flamingo, small in stature, yet bold in character. For them, Ngorongoro is more than a sanctuary. It is an extraordinary natural banquet in the highlands of Tanzania. At the heart of the crater lies Lake Magadi, a shallow, alkaline pool that seems inhospitable, yet fuels an explosion of life. Here, cyanobacteria, spirulina, flourish in dazzling abundance. This microscopic algae forms nearly the entire diet of the lesser flamingo. Rich in carotenoids, it infuses their feathers with a brilliant pink hue, as though painted by the very sun of the equatorial sky. The flamingo's beak is a marvel of evolution, a precise natural filter. Inverted into the water, it sifts through countless microorganisms, separating life-giving algae from the briny shallows. Inside, delicate lamellae act as ultrafine combs, straining food from mud and salt, ensuring only nourishment enters their fragile systems. Although scattered across Africa, nearly 80% of the world's lesser flamingo population, between 2.2 and 3.2 million individuals as of 2025, thrives here in East Africa. Most gather at the great alkaline lakes of the Rift Valley, Lake Natron, Lake Bogoria, Lake Nakuru, and Lake Manyara. Yet none can match the unique terrain and ecological balance of Ngorongoro crater. For these birds, Lake Magadi is a vital stopover, a safe haven when larger lakes dry, shift in alkalinity, or lose their food supply under the growing pressure of climate change. As the soft pink glow of the lesser flamingos fades across the salty waters, Ngorongoro falls into stillness, its vast landscape settling into silence, like a prayer left unfinished.